What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Robert Ford Sports Minute. And what a weekend in college football. Ryan Day gets the monkey off his back. Ohio State finally beats Michigan after losing to them for 4 straight seasons. Ohio State will play Indiana in a Big Ten championship game on next weekend. 1 versus 2 should be a hell of a matchup, right? Fernando Mendoza might be the best quarterback in college football at Indiana. Kurt Cignetti's doing a phenomenal job with that program. I still like Ohio State. Just too many NFL prospects on that roster. Look, Indiana's got a great quarterback, might be the #1 quarterback in the draft. They also got 2 really good receivers as well. But that Ohio State defense is just loaded with NFL prospects. When you look at Sonny Styles, look at Arvell Reese, you look at McDonald on the defensive line, Caleb Downs in the secondary. I like Ohio State in that game. I'm going to go 30-21 Ohio State next week over Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. Oregon secures this spot in the playoffs, right? They held on to beat Washington on the road, 26-14. So big win for them. They'll be moving on to the college football playoff as well. How about Vanderbilt in Miami today? 2 impressive road victories. Vanderbilt put on a show, 45-24 at Tennessee. They still have an outside shot of making the playoffs. And then when you look at Miami, they also have an outside shot of making the playoffs as well with a big-time road win over Pitt. I know as we speak, I think Cal was still beating SMU by 3. If they somehow hold on to beat SMU, Miami could be in the ACC championship game against Virginia on next week, which will give them a good opportunity to secure a playoff spot. Lane Kiffin what is he going to do, right? I still believe he's going to LSU, folks. Look, I think it could be a matter of an announcement on tomorrow. I think he still would like to coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff, right? And look, I'm an LSU fan. I want Lane Kiffin to come to LSU, but I would like to see him have that opportunity to coach this Ole Miss team in the college football playoff. It's only right for those kids at Ole Miss and those players. And look, I don't like Ole Miss, right? We have a saying that I will not say on this clip about Ole Miss, right? But look, I think he deserves that opportunity. Those kids, most importantly, deserve that opportunity as well. Texas, right, with a road win over Texas A&M on last night. What a performance by Arch Manning and a Texas defense. And look, Texas A&M just allowed Georgia to get to the SEC championship game with that loss. So now we got Georgia and Alabama yet again in the SEC championship game. I know Alabama went to Georgia and won earlier this season, but I'm picking Georgia to win in Atlanta on next week. I think this Georgia team is ascending at the right time, right? So I'm going to go with Georgia in that game on next week. I'm going to go 27-24 Georgia by a field goal on next week. Let's move over to some major hockey in Europe, right? AC Milan is leading the Serie A league in Italy right now in first place. And how about FC Barcelona in the La Liga Spanish league, right? In first place over Real Madrid. And you all know Real Madrid is led by the world's best player, Kylian Mbappe from France, right? But FC Barcelona is ahead of Real Madrid. Look, I know there's a lot of European soccer fans right here in America. And of course, it's big around the world as well. How about those Colorado Avalanche in the NHL, right? They are 13-0-3 in their last 16 games, right? They've been outstanding. A huge win, 7-2 over the Montreal Canadiens on tonight. They've been whipping folks, right? They are by far the best team in the National Hockey League right now. Let's look at some matchups on tomorrow. The Washington Capitals at the New York Islanders. I'm going with the Capitals. I don't pick against Alex Ovechkin. I'm picking the Capitals to win on tomorrow. And then you got the Anaheim Ducks at the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going with the Blackhawks at home in that one. And then the Ottawa Senators at the Dallas Stars. I'm picking the Stars in that matchup on tomorrow. All right, everyone, we'll be back. We got more football to talk about here on tomorrow, NFL, etc. So we'll be right back at you next weekend. College football conference championships. It's going to be exciting. Stay tuned, everyone. Be blessed.